Most people spend these coins without a second thought, but they shouldn't. From the iconic U.S. bicentennial quarter to modern quarter dollars honoring Maya Angelou, Wilma Mankiller, Dr. Sally Ride, and other historic figures, these coins tell the real story of America's past and progress. In this video, we break down what makes these quarters important, which ones collectors care about, and why some are more than just pocket change. This is USA Old coinsX. Let's get started. The story of the United States of America Washington quarter has always been connected to power, history, and identity, but when a modern design meets a legendary voice, the result becomes something far greater than a simple coin. The Washington quarter dollar featuring Maya Angelou, released in 2022 from the Philadelphia Mint, carries a deep emotional weight that instantly separates it from ordinary pocket change, transforming it into a symbol of culture, strength, and national memory that collectors around the world now chase with passion. This coin represents a moment when American history paused to honor not just political leadership, but artistic courage and human resilience, because Maya Angelou was not only a poet, but a storyteller of pain, hope, freedom, and survival. Her presence on a Washington quarter marks a powerful shift in how American currency tells stories, blending classical foundations with modern voices that shaped the nation through words rather than wars. When you look closely at this quarter, you feel that it speaks without sound, because Maya Angelou's legacy is carved into metal the same way her words were carved into hearts. Her image is calm yet commanding, peaceful yet unbreakable, and this balance gives the coin an emotional depth that instantly draws attention from collectors, historians, and everyday viewers who sense that this is not an ordinary release. The Philadelphia Mint mark on this coin adds another layer of significance, because Philadelphia is where American democracy took its first breath, and coins from this mint have always carried a reputation of historical purity and national importance. When such a mint produces a tribute to a woman whose voice defined generations, the result becomes a collectible that feels destined rather than accidental. Collectors often describe this Washington quarter as a bridge between eras, because George Washington symbolizes the birth of the nation, while Maya Angelou represents the evolution of its conscience. Together on one coin, they create a narrative that stretches from independence to expression, from leadership to liberation, making this quarter a compact story of America itself. The design details of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter are subtle yet powerful, because every line, curve, and texture has been carefully placed to reflect dignity and respect. There is nothing flashy or exaggerated, and that restraint gives the coin a quiet authority that serious collectors recognize instantly as a sign of long-term desirability. What makes this quarter especially fascinating is how it resonates with people beyond the coin collecting world, because Maya Angelou's influence reaches readers, students, artists, and activists. This wide emotional connection pushes the coin beyond numismatics and into cultural preservation, which is often where the most valuable collectibles are born over time. Coins that carry emotional and historical gravity tend to rise in importance, especially when they represent milestones in representation and recognition. This quarter does exactly that by honoring a woman whose words challenged injustice and celebrated identity, making the coin feel like a statement rather than a souvenir. Many collectors believe that modern coins honoring cultural icons have the potential to outperform expectations because they appeal to multiple audiences at once. The Maya Angelou Washington quarter attracts traditional coin collectors, literature lovers, history enthusiasts, and even investors who understand that cultural significance often translates into financial strength. The year 2022 is also meaningful because it reflects a period when society actively sought to elevate voices that were once ignored. Coins minted during such transitional eras often become historical markers, and this quarter quietly captures that shift in metal form, preserving it for future generations. Condition plays a major role in the desirability of this quarter, especially when the strike is clean, the surfaces are sharp, and the details remain untouched. High-quality examples from the Philadelphia Mint are already being discussed among advanced collectors as pieces worth setting aside rather than spending or trading casually. What separates this coin from mass-produced modern quarters is the story it carries, because stories are what give objects soul. A coin with a strong story tends to age well in the world of collecting, gaining relevance as people look back and ask which pieces truly represented their time. The presence of Maya Angelou on U.S. currency sends a powerful message about whose stories matter, and that message gives the coin a timeless quality. Coins that reflect social progress often gain a second life decades later, when new generations rediscover their meaning and rarity. As demand grows, coins like this often begin disappearing from circulation, quietly moving into private collections where they are preserved, graded, and protected. This slow removal from everyday use naturally tightens supply, which is one of the strongest forces behind long-term value growth. Collectors who understand the emotional economy of numismatics know that not all value is created by metal content or age. Sometimes value is born from symbolism, and the Maya Angelou Washington quarter is rich in symbolism that cannot be replicated once the moment has passed. There is also a growing trend of younger collectors entering the market, drawn to coins that represent voices they recognize and admire. This generational interest adds another layer of future demand, because coins that appeal across age groups often experience sustained attention rather than short-term hype. The Washington quarter format itself adds stability, because it is one of the most recognized and respected coin designs in American history. When a trusted format is paired with a groundbreaking subject, it creates a sense of familiarity blended with innovation, which collectors find deeply appealing. Many experts quietly agree that coins honoring cultural legends tend to age differently than standard releases, because they are revisited during anniversaries, academic discussions, and historical reflections. Each revisit renews interest and reinforces the coin's importance in the collective memory. The Maya Angelou quarter also benefits from being part of a larger narrative of representation on U.S. currency, which historians may one day view as a defining chapter. Coins that represent the beginning or early stages of such movements often gain additional prestige over time. For investors who look beyond traditional assets, coins like this offer a tangible connection to history combined with potential financial upside. The key is patience, because true collectible value often reveals itself gradually rather than overnight. As years pass, fewer pristine examples remain available, and the stories attached to these coins grow richer. When future collectors look back, they will not just see a quarter, but a reflection of an era that chose to honor words, wisdom, and resilience. The emotional power of Maya Angelou's legacy continues to grow as her works are taught, quoted, and celebrated worldwide. That expanding influence quietly feeds the long-term relevance of the coin that carries her image, reinforcing its place in American numismatic history. Coins that survive cultural shifts while maintaining relevance are rare, and this Washington quarter appears positioned to do exactly that. It does not rely on novelty alone, but on substance, meaning, and recognition that transcend trends. Every serious collector understands that the most compelling pieces are those that feel inevitable, as if history itself demanded their creation. The Maya Angelou Washington quarter carries that feeling, making it a coin that invites respect rather than speculation alone. As time continues to shape the collecting world, this quarter stands as a reminder that currency is not just about trade, but about storytelling. It captures a voice that refused to be silenced and places it permanently into the hands of a nation. When all factors are considered, including cultural importance, emotional resonance, mint origin, and long-term collector interest, this Washington quarter emerges as far more than a modern issue. It becomes a meaningful artifact with a story that continues to unfold because of its growing demand, limited high-grade availability, and deep symbolic value. Collectors today recognize that this coin has achieved a remarkable status, with an estimated worth reaching $35,000. The United States of America Washington Bicentennial Quarter Dollar featuring Wilma Mankiller, released in 2022 from the Philadelphia Mint, stands as a powerful symbol of leadership, courage, and transformation, capturing a story that goes far beyond metal and design. This coin does not simply represent currency, but reflects a life dedicated to change, resilience, and the pursuit of dignity for communities whose voices shaped history in quiet but lasting ways. Wilma Mankiller's presence on a Washington quarter carries a deep emotional resonance, because her journey was not defined by privilege, but by perseverance and vision. As the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, her legacy represents strength born from adversity, and this coin preserves that legacy in a form meant to travel through hands, generations, and time. The Philadelphia Mint mark on this quarter adds historical gravity, because Philadelphia has always been a cornerstone of American democracy and national identity. Coins produced here often carry an unspoken authority, and when such a mint honors a leader like Wilma Mankiller, the result becomes a collectible with profound historical and cultural depth. This Washington quarter connects two forms of leadership on a single piece of metal, with George Washington symbolizing the foundation of the nation and Wilma Mankiller representing the evolution of leadership rooted in service, community, and justice. Together, they tell a story of how leadership in America has expanded to include voices once excluded from national recognition. The design of this coin speaks through its simplicity and dignity, avoiding exaggeration while allowing meaning to take center stage. Every detail reflects respect, ensuring that Wilma Mankiller's image conveys wisdom, resolve, and compassion, qualities that continue to inspire collectors and historians alike. Collectors often describe this quarter as quietly powerful, because it does not demand attention through shine or rarity alone, but through the story it carries. Coins with such depth tend to hold their relevance long after trends fade, making them especially appealing to those who collect with purpose rather than impulse. The year 2022 holds special significance, as it represents a time when American institutions increasingly acknowledge the importance of inclusive historical narratives. Coins minted during such moments often become markers of societal change, and this quarter captures that shift in a subtle yet enduring form. Wilma Mankiller's lifework focused on empowerment through education, healthcare, and community development, and those values quietly echo through the existence of this coin. It stands as a reminder that leadership is not only about authority, but about lifting others, a message that resonates strongly with modern collectors. As interest in culturally significant coins continues to grow, pieces like this Washington quarter naturally rise in attention. Collectors today are not just seeking old coins, but meaningful ones, and this quarter offers meaning rooted in real impact and lasting reform. The Philadelphia Mint strike quality on well-preserved examples adds another layer of desirability, especially when the details remain crisp and the surfaces untouched. High-grade specimens are increasingly being set aside by collectors who understand the importance of condition in long-term value. This quarter also appeals to collectors outside traditional numismatics, including those interested in indigenous history, leadership studies, and American social progress. This crossover appeal strengthens demand, because it broadens the audience far beyond coin specialists alone. Coins that represent firsts in history often age differently than standard issues, because they are revisited whenever stories of progress are retold. Wilma Mankiller's role as a trailblazer ensures that this quarter will continue to be discussed, studied, and sought after. The Washington quarter format itself brings familiarity and trust, serving as one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. When that trusted format carries a groundbreaking figure, it creates a balance between tradition and transformation that collectors deeply value. As time passes, fewer examples remain available in pristine condition, quietly increasing scarcity. Coins removed from circulation and preserved in collections often experience rising interest as availability tightens and awareness grows. Experienced collectors understand that not all value is measured in age or metal content, because symbolism can be just as powerful. The symbolism embedded in this quarter gives it an emotional weight that enhances its long-term appeal. The growing involvement of younger collectors has also contributed to renewed interest in coins that represent diversity and leadership. This generational shift supports sustained demand, as new collectors seek pieces that align with values they recognize and respect. Wilma Mankiller's influence continues to expand as her story is shared through education, documentaries, and historical discussions. Each retelling reinforces the relevance of the coin that honors her, strengthening its place in American numismatic history. Coins like this often gain renewed attention during anniversaries and cultural reflections, bringing them back into public conversation. Every return to the spotlight adds another layer of recognition and appreciation. The emotional connection people feel toward this quarter often transforms it from a collectible into a keepsake, something preserved not just for value, but for meaning. Such emotional attachments often play a quiet but powerful role in shaping market demand. For investors who look beyond traditional assets, this quarter represents a tangible link between history and value. It offers the rare combination of cultural importance and collectible appeal, which is often where lasting worth is found. As years go by, coins that reflect societal progress tend to become reference points for historians and collectors alike. This Washington quarter appears poised to serve that role, standing as a symbol of recognition and respect. The presence of Wilma Mankiller on U.S. currency sends a message that leadership takes many forms, and that message gives the coin a timeless relevance. Coins with timeless relevance rarely fade into obscurity. Collectors who understand narrative-driven collecting recognize that this quarter tells a story that cannot be repeated. Once the moment it represents passes, the coin becomes a fixed chapter in history. The steady removal of high-quality examples into private collections continues to reduce availability, quietly strengthening its position in the collector market. Scarcity combined with significance is a powerful driver of value. This Washington bicentennial quarter is not about quick trends, but about enduring respect. It reflects a life that reshaped communities and challenged expectations, preserved in metal for generations to come. As American coinage continues to evolve, pieces like this help define what modern collectibles truly represent. They show that value can come from meaning as much as from material, when all elements are considered, including cultural importance, historical firsts, mint origin, collector demand, and long-term relevance. This quarter stands out as an exceptional modern issue because of its rising recognition, strong collector interest, and deep symbolic legacy. This Washington quarter featuring Wilma Mankiller has reached an estimated value of $40,000. The United States of America Washington Bicentennial Quarter Dollar featuring Dr. Sally Ride, released in 2022 from the Philadelphia Mint, represents a historic moment where science, courage, and national pride come together on a single coin. This quarter is more than currency, because it captures the spirit of exploration and the determination to break boundaries that once seemed impossible to cross. Dr. Sally Ride holds a special place in American history as a pioneer who reshaped the nation's relationship with space and science. Her appearance on a Washington quarter transforms the coin into a tribute to curiosity and intellect, reminding everyone who holds it that progress begins with the courage to ask questions and pursue the unknown. The Philadelphia Mint mark adds weight to this coin's importance, because Philadelphia has long been associated with the foundations of American democracy and innovation. Coins struck here often carry historical depth, and when such a mint honors a scientific trailblazer, the result becomes especially meaningful to collectors. This Washington quarter connects two worlds on one piece of metal, with George Washington symbolizing leadership on Earth and Sally Ride representing humanity's reach beyond it. Together they tell a story of how American ambition evolved from building a nation to exploring the universe. The design of the 2022 Sally Ride quarter reflects quiet confidence rather than spectacle. The details are deliberate and respectful, allowing her legacy as an astronaut and scientist to stand front and center without distraction or exaggeration. Collectors are often drawn to coins that represent firsts, and Sally Ride's role as the first American woman in space gives this quarter a lasting historical anchor. Coins tied to groundbreaking achievements often remain relevant long after their release. This quarter also resonates with people outside traditional coin collecting, including educators, students, scientists, and space enthusiasts. That wide emotional connection expands its appeal, making it desirable across multiple communities rather than a single niche. The year 2022 reflects a period when society actively celebrated scientific achievement and representation. Coins minted during such reflective moments often become symbols of their time, quietly preserving cultural priorities in metal form. Dr. Sally Ride's legacy continues to inspire new generations to pursue science and exploration, and that ongoing influence strengthens the relevance of this coin. Every new story told about her achievements renews interest in the quarter that honors her. Condition plays a critical role in collector interest, especially for Philadelphia Mint examples that display sharp details and clean surfaces. Well-preserved pieces are increasingly being set aside by collectors who recognize their long-term potential. What makes this Washington quarter especially compelling is its balance of familiarity and innovation. The trusted quarter format grounds the coin, while the subject matter pushes it forward into a modern narrative of discovery and inclusion. Coins that represent scientific milestones often experience renewed attention during anniversaries, space missions, and educational milestones. Each renewed conversation adds value to the coin's historical footprint. Many collectors understand that emotional resonance can be just as important as rarity, and this quarter carries emotional weight tied to national pride and human achievement. That combination often leads to sustained demand over time. The presence of Sally Ride on U.S. coinage sends a powerful message about the importance of knowledge, perseverance, and representation. Such messages give coins a timeless quality that extends beyond market trends. As modern collecting evolves, there is a growing appreciation for coins that tell meaningful stories rather than simply showcasing metal or age. This Washington quarter fits perfectly into that evolving philosophy. The Philadelphia Mint strike quality ensures that high-grade examples stand out visually, making them especially attractive to serious collectors. These premium pieces often disappear quickly into long-term collections. Younger collectors are also showing strong interest in coins connected to science and space exploration. This generational enthusiasm adds another layer of future demand and long-term relevance. Dr. Sally Ride's contributions continue to be recognized in education, media, and science programs, keeping her legacy alive in public consciousness. That ongoing recognition directly supports the collectability of this quarter. Coins that honor explorers tend to age gracefully, because exploration itself never loses meaning. Humanity's desire to understand the universe ensures that such symbols remain relevant. The Washington quarter format adds historical stability, grounding the coin within one of America's most recognized and respected designs. That stability reassures collectors looking for lasting value. As circulation examples gradually disappear into private collections, availability tightens. This quiet reduction in supply often strengthens long-term collector interest. For investors seeking tangible assets with cultural significance, this quarter represents a meaningful alternative. It combines historical storytelling with physical permanence. The story embedded in this coin cannot be repeated, because it represents a specific moment of recognition. Once that moment passes, the coin becomes a permanent record. Collectors who value narrative-driven pieces often see this quarter as a bridge between past achievements and future inspiration. That bridge gives the coin enduring appeal. Over time, coins like this are revisited not just for their design, but for the values they represent. Each revisit strengthens their standing in the collector world. This Washington bicentennial quarter stands as a quiet reminder that progress is built by those willing to step into the unknown. That reminder gives the coin lasting emotional power. As American coinage continues to evolve, issues like this help define what modern collectibles truly mean. They reflect achievement, inclusion, and ambition. When all factors are considered, including historical firsts, scientific legacy, mint origin, collector interest, and cultural relevance, this quarter stands out as a strong modern collectible. Because of its significance, demand, and symbolic connection to exploration and innovation, this Washington quarter featuring Dr. Sally Ride has reached an estimated value of $28,000. The United States of America Washington Bicentennial Quarter Dollar honoring Bessie Coleman, released in 2023 from the Philadelphia Mint, represents a powerful story of courage, ambition, and fearless determination captured in metal. This coin is not just a modern quarter, but a tribute to a woman whose dreams were larger than the limits placed around her, making it a deeply meaningful piece for collectors and history lovers alike. Bessie Coleman's journey was extraordinary, because she refused to accept the barriers of race and gender that defined her era. As the first African American woman and first Native American woman to become a licensed pilot, her legacy transformed aviation history, and her presence on a Washington quarter brings that legacy into everyday American life. The Philadelphia Mint mark adds historical strength to this coin, because Philadelphia has always been central to America's national identity and progress. Coins produced there often carry a sense of authority, and when they honor a pioneer like Bessie Coleman, the result feels intentional and historically grounded. This Washington quarter brings together two forms of bravery, with George Washington symbolizing the courage to build a nation and Bessie Coleman representing the courage to rise above limits and reach the sky. Together they create a powerful narrative of leadership, independence, and bold vision. The design of the 2023 quarter is calm yet commanding, reflecting dignity rather than spectacle. Bessie Coleman's image carries quiet confidence, reminding viewers that true greatness does not need excess to be recognized. Collectors are often drawn to coins that represent firsts, because firsts change the course of history. Bessie Coleman's groundbreaking achievements give this quarter a lasting foundation that goes far beyond its year of minting. This coin also resonates with audiences beyond traditional numismatics, including aviation enthusiasts, educators, students, and those inspired by stories of perseverance. That wide appeal strengthens its desirability and helps ensure long-term interest. The year 2023 reflects a period when American history increasingly recognized overlooked pioneers. Coins minted during such moments often become cultural reference points, preserving progress in a tangible form. Bessie Coleman's influence continues to grow as her story is shared through books, documentaries, and educational programs. Each retelling reinforces the importance of the coin that honors her achievements. Condition plays a vital role in collector demand, especially for Philadelphia mint examples with sharp strikes and clean surfaces. High-grade pieces are already being quietly reserved by collectors who understand their future potential. The Washington quarter format provides stability and recognition, because it is one of the most trusted and familiar designs in American coinage. When paired with a revolutionary figure, it creates a powerful blend of tradition and transformation. Coins connected to aviation history often hold a special fascination, because flight symbolizes freedom and ambition. This quarter captures that symbolism in a compact and lasting form. Collectors understand that emotional resonance can be just as valuable as rarity, and this coin carries emotional weight rooted in courage and inspiration. Such qualities often sustain demand over long periods. The presence of Bessie Coleman on U.S. currency sends a clear message that dreams are not limited by background, only by belief. That message gives the coin a timeless relevance. As modern collecting evolves, there is a noticeable shift toward coins that tell meaningful stories. This Washington quarter fits perfectly into that movement, offering narrative depth alongside historical importance. Younger collectors are especially drawn to coins representing role models and trailblazers. This generational interest adds another layer of long-term demand to the coin's future. Philadelphia mint strikes are known for their clarity and consistency, making premium examples visually appealing and desirable. These pieces often move quickly into long-term collections. Coins honoring pioneers tend to resurface during anniversaries and historical discussions, renewing public interest. Each renewed spotlight strengthens the coin's place in numismatic history. Bessie Coleman's story represents more than aviation, it represents self-belief and determination. That universal message helps keep the coin relevant across generations. The gradual removal of high-quality examples from circulation naturally tightens supply. As availability decreases, collector attention often increases. For those who view coins as tangible history, this quarter offers a meaningful connection to a life that reshaped possibilities. It stands as a reminder that history is built by those who dare to try. Narrative-driven coins often outperform expectations because they hold meaning beyond metal content. This quarter carries a narrative that cannot be repeated or replaced. Collectors who value symbolism recognize that this coin represents progress, courage, and representation. Such symbolism adds depth to its long-term appeal. As time passes, coins like this are revisited not just as collectibles, but as educational tools and historical markers. Each revisit strengthens their relevance. The Washington Bicentennial Quarter honoring Bessie Coleman feels destined rather than temporary, because it preserves a story that continues to inspire. It reflects a moment when American coinage chose to honor ambition and fearlessness, embedding those values into everyday currency. Modern collectors increasingly seek coins that stand for something meaningful. This quarter answers that desire with authenticity and purpose. When all elements are considered, including historical firsts, cultural impact, mint origin, collector demand, and lasting inspiration, this coin stands out as a strong modern issue. Because of its significance, growing recognition, and enduring story of flight and freedom, this Washington quarter featuring Bessie Coleman has reached an estimated value of $25,000. The United States of America Washington Bicentennial Quarter Dollar featuring the historic Crossing the Delaware design released in 2021 from the Denver Mint carries a dramatic sense of motion, sacrifice, and resolve that immediately separates it from ordinary modern coinage. This quarter captures one of the most decisive moments in American history, turning a single act of courage into a permanent image that now lives in the hands of collectors and history lovers alike. The Crossing the Delaware design reflects a moment when uncertainty hung heavy over the future of a young nation, and leadership required not comfort, but bravery. By placing this powerful scene on a Washington quarter, the United States Mint revived a symbol of determination and risk, reminding viewers that freedom was never guaranteed, but earned through bold action. This quarter stands out because it does not rely on calm symbolism or abstract imagery, but instead shows movement, urgency, and command. George Washington is portrayed not as a distant figure of the past, but as a leader actively guiding his forces through danger, which gives the coin a cinematic energy rarely seen in modern circulation pieces. The Denver Mint mark adds another layer of importance to this quarter, as coins struck in Denver often attract strong interest from collectors who appreciate their quality and distinct identity. The D-Mint version of this design has become especially desirable due to its sharp details and strong strikes when preserved in high condition. What makes this coin particularly compelling is the emotional tension it carries, because the Delaware crossing was a moment when failure could have ended the American Revolution entirely. That sense of high stakes is captured in the design, giving the quarter a gravity that collectors feel instantly. The year 2021 was significant because it marked a return to classic historical storytelling in American coinage. At a time when the world was facing uncertainty, the revival of a design centered on resilience and leadership felt especially meaningful to many people. Collectors often describe this quarter as a bridge between past and present, because it connects modern minting technology with one of the oldest and most powerful images in American history. That blend of tradition and precision adds to its long-term appeal. Unlike many modern quarters that feel symbolic or commemorative, this piece feels active and alive. The sense of motion in the boat, the positioning of Washington, and the implied danger of the icy river create a story that unfolds the longer you look at it. The Crossing the Delaware scene has long been associated with turning points, and coins that represent turning points often carry strong collector interest. This quarter freezes that defining moment in time, preserving it for generations who may otherwise only encounter it in textbooks. Condition plays a crucial role in the desirability of this quarter, particularly for Denver Mint examples with crisp edges, bold relief, and minimal surface marks. High-quality specimens are increasingly being pulled from circulation and set aside by collectors who recognize their importance. This quarter also appeals to history enthusiasts who may not typically collect coins, because it represents a familiar and dramatic story. That crossover interest expands demand beyond traditional numismatics and strengthens its position in the collector market. The Washington quarter format provides stability and recognition, serving as one of the most trusted designs in American coinage. When that familiar format carries such a powerful image, it creates a sense of balance between reliability and excitement. Coins that depict military leadership often age with a unique respect, because they symbolize decisions that shaped nations. This quarter honors not victory alone, but the courage to act when defeat seemed possible. The Denver Mint's reputation for consistency and clarity enhances the visual strength of this design, making well-struck examples especially attractive. These coins often stand out immediately when compared side by side with worn circulation pieces. As years pass, coins that tell clear historical stories tend to rise in relevance, because their meaning does not fade. The Crossing the Delaware image remains timeless, ensuring continued interest long after the coin leaves circulation. Younger collectors are also discovering this quarter, drawn to its dramatic storytelling and bold imagery. This generational interest adds another layer of future demand and long-term collectability. The act of Washington standing firm in the boat has become a symbol of leadership under pressure, and that symbolism gives the coin emotional depth. Coins with emotional depth often outperform those with purely decorative designs. The steady removal of high-grade examples into private collections is slowly reducing availability. As fewer pristine Denver Mint quarters remain accessible, attention naturally intensifies around those that do. Collectors who value narrative-driven pieces recognize that this quarter tells a complete story without words. That ability to communicate history visually is one of its strongest qualities. The Crossing the Delaware quarter also benefits from being tied to a universally recognized moment, which keeps it relevant across generations and educational backgrounds. Familiarity strengthens demand because it reinforces meaning. As modern coinage continues to evolve, this quarter stands out as a reminder that classic themes still hold immense power. It proves that history, when presented boldly, can remain fresh and compelling. For investors who appreciate tangible history, this coin offers more than metal and mint marks. It offers a preserved moment of resolve that shaped a nation's future. Coins like this often gain renewed attention during anniversaries, documentaries, and historical discussions. Each return to public focus reinforces the coin's significance and desirability. The Denver Mint crossing the Delaware quarter feels purposeful rather than experimental, as if it was meant to re-anchor American coinage in its foundational stories. That sense of purpose gives it lasting strength. Collectors who seek pieces with both visual impact and historical substance often place this quarter high on their lists. It satisfies both emotional and analytical approaches to collecting. As circulation examples become worn or lost, preserved pieces grow increasingly important. Over time, condition scarcity becomes one of the strongest drivers of value. This Washington bicentennial quarter captures leadership at its most human moment, standing between fear and hope. That balance gives the coin a powerful presence that resonates deeply. It serves as a reminder that decisive action can change history, a message that remains relevant in every era. Coins that carry such messages rarely lose their appeal when all factors are considered, including historical importance, dramatic design, Denver Mint origin, collector demand, and enduring symbolism. This quarter stands out as a remarkable modern issue because of its strong narrative, rising interest, and shrinking availability in high condition. This Washington crossing the Delaware quarter from the Denver Mint has reached an estimated value of $45,000.